Hello everybody and welcome back to the Adventures in Collecting YouTube channel, where we take a closer look at the toys we talk about on the show. And today, just addressing the elephant in the room, I have a cut on my head because I hit myself in the face with the Ring doorbell. Be careful when you're taking those things off the wall, because sometimes they get stuck and you hit yourself in the face. But today we are taking a look at the Super 7 Ultimates Conan the Barbarian War Paint Edition. So I picked this up from Entertainment Earth back just a couple weeks ago when they were doing their 10% off sale on things that were in stock. And after seeing Jared at Toy Bros photos and video of this, I had to have it. So I'd been toying with the idea, pun intended, of adding an Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan to my collection. You know, whether it's with the Mythic Legions or the Storm Collectibles Golden Axe Skeletons, I just really kind of felt like he really fit into that sword and sorcery vibe. So if you have never had a Super 7 Ultimates figure before, packaging is exactly what you can expect. You got a nice little scroll here on the back describing who the character is if you want to pause and read that. Otherwise, just a big old window here seeing the figure and the accessories, and then a really nice slip cover. And like their other slip covers, we have a nice little foil treatment there on the logo, and a nice textured feel throughout. So with that, let's let's take Conan into the Lightbox and take a closer look at the Super 7 Ultimates War Paint Edition of Conan. There you have it, folks. There is Conan out of the box, your Ultimate War Paint Conan. Overall, solid figure. I think the likeness in terms of Arnold Schwarzenegger in both head sculpts is great. From some of the pictures I've seen of past releases, there's been some issues with different colored plastic, you know, from the head to the torso, and even, you know, in the two different pieces of the torso. I do not see that here. The paint, the deco, everything is applied really, really nicely, including the, you know, the blood splatter both on him and on the blade. The blade fits nicely into the sheath. It's a nice plastic where I don't feel like it's going to break, but it also does have give to it, enough so where I don't think it's going to warp, and I don't think it's going to break. So I think that is really good. You get all the hands that you would need. Of course, as you saw, he can strike that iconic, you know, Conan pose, the sword up, the hand out business. You know, you get the angle right, and there you go. Yeah, you're in business. I think for the price point, I think, you know, again, I don't want to belabor this. This is only my third Ultimate figure from Super 7. I think they do some things really, really great, and then there are other things that I think would be better. You know, I would love for him to have a little bit more of an ab crunch forward. He leans back pretty well, but he's got nothing in the way of forward. You know, I think in this case, the double jointed elbows would be great, so that way he could grip the sword with both hands. I mean, that's just not something that's happening. You know, and there are poses of him, you know, where he's standing like this, you know, holding the sword with two hands, and that's just not going to happen without those double jointed elbows. Or at least butterfly joints or something in the shoulders, so that way his arms can get closer to each other. That would be an awesome add to this, especially, you know, at that $45 price point. I think otherwise, you know, there's enough rotation in the hips. I know that was one of my complaints with the Matt Cardona and Brian Myers figures. And in this case, I think there's a ton of thigh rotation there, and it's hidden nicely underneath his little loincloth. I think the single jointed knee in this case is perfect. You know, it gets you to that 90-degree mark. I love the swivel and pivot at the feet. He has no problem standing. Again, you kind of have the kind of sort of swivel at the knee or calf. So, you know, I think ultimately, pun intended, you know, this is an awesome version of Conan. You know, it's the version of Conan that I honestly think of when I think of the character. I just think of this iconic, you know, the way that Arnold portrayed him, and I absolutely love the war paint look of the figure. So, you know, do I recommend this? If you're a Conan fan, you're a fan of the 80s, you're a sword and sorcery person, you want something to go with your Mythic Legions and your Storm Collectibles, skeletons, and things like Ares and the Golden Axe, this is a great ad. I think you couldn't go wrong with any one of these. If I were to recommend one, if you were going to get one Conan figure from this series, this would be definitely the one to get. I know some people get a little about, you know, the blood splatter stuff, because then he is kind of always bloodied. You never have a kind of a non-bloodied version of him, but honestly, for this type of character, I think that works great. So what we'll do is we'll put a link to this in the description below, where you can get Conan and add him to your collection. So, like always, make sure you head down there and hit that subscribe button, so that way you don't miss videos like this, where we take deeper dives into the toys that we love. And while you're down there, let us know what you want to see from Super 7. Super 7 seems to be kind of adding all of these, I don't want to say random, but, you know, all these different IPs to their Ultimates line. We have Disney, we have the Animaniacs, we have SpongeBob, we have Conan, we have wrestling. What do you want to see them tackle? What's an IP you would absolutely love to see Super 7 tackle in the Ultimates line? Let us know in the comments below. While you're liking and subscribing to things, make sure you follow us here at AIC_podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, where we're constantly posting toy photography, news, deals, availability, anything and everything we think would help out the community. And then, of course, the podcast. So Adventures in Collecting, you can find us wherever you find podcasts. Simply search for Adventures in Collecting or hit the link in the description below, which will take you to our website, and you can find links to all of the things that I just mentioned. And as always, until next time.